hit at all. Let's see what they'll change up, because if they don't change anything, I don't think it's just a play better and we'll win the game situation against GENG.
No, I mean, if they could, out of nowhere, you know, up the play level by 3 or 4 times, then maybe. Azir is going to stay on the ban list, so that's not changing. And on the side of GENG, you don't really have to change anything.
Yeah, no, you really don't. I think there's no reason to leave that LeBlanc open. We see a Maokai ban here. It's the question.
Or just, you know, like we've all said, just pick it away.
Just feels like the fact that they had the opportunity last game and they didn't take it makes me wonder if they just don't trust Lucid on the pick at the moment. They'll ban Tristana again.
You could ban Nasus if you're really worried about that. You know, ban the Nasus on blue and then pick the Maokai.
I am very, very perplexed here. Smolder going to remain the same. Like you said, GENG don't need to change anything.
Yeah.
Don't need to worry about that Smolder scaling. Okay, they ban it. So this is what I was kind of feeling because of what happened in Game 2. Now, Vi is still available. So that might be a look here as the Rumble is a required ban. And maybe they'll play some sort of pick-based comp instead, but again, that's not really playing to aiming. That was the other type of GENG that we like to see in round 1, where we were a little bit concerned about some of aiming's play. That's going to be first pick Nasus again.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you take the Maokai away, it's going to potentially make the Ziggs weaker. I think there's no reason you don't pick the Ziggs anyway. I think the Ziggs is still very strong. I think Pays is fantastic at it. He's showcased many different play styles, many different comps he can play with, and many different build orders in his items as well. Like, the guy's understanding of Ziggs is much better than everybody else's, including DK's.
Yeah, at least here in the LCK, that is for sure. Corki, still flexible, as we've already showcased in Game 2, but might end up opting into the mid matchup here, depending on what Keen does pick. And there's the Vi that he hovered last time, didn't commit to. I think he's just teasing us. Some of his favorite picks here with the Lee Sin also being hovered. If he locks the Vi here, you know, remember, this is not going to be where they're going to lock an Ahri here. It is still pretty strong with the Nasus, obviously, because you have the Wither on top of all Vi's damage. It is quite strong. But this is not a traditional Vi compass. This time they'll take the Leona, maybe, here early. And that indicates that we're probably not going to see the Misfortune lane.
Yeah, I don't want to see Misfortune again. I would love to see Zeri picked here, actually.
Same.
Because then you can try to match it against the Corki potentially. Nasus can also go top.
Now, if you don't lock the Garen here, it's probably going to be banned. But if you do lock the Garen here, then you're playing everything face up. And you also don't have a jungle pick. So if you just leave this to a jungle pick for Canyon, there's a lot available. Nidalee is up this time. Then, you know, at least you get a ban out of it, but they will just lock this.
Yeah.
It's pretty sturdy, very difficult to gank, even with a Vi, especially when you have full prio non-stop.
This is going to get pretty interesting when we get in. If we get like another flexible mid-top pick from DK, we could see some like last-second swaps between players as well. Could get very kind of crazy towards the end.
The Kai'Sa is kind of a must-ban in this situation because of the Vi and the Leona, the pick-based comp that they are going for here. I still do think, though, that the Zeri deserves a look. Ezreal is much weaker at following up on dive. Can do it, and Leona Ezreal was the lane early on this season, and aiming is one of our best Ezreal players. So I think it's probably between those two picks they're considering banning here in this last spot for GENG, as Poppy being that kind of soft counter to Leona will be banned away by D+. Rel also could be quite strong for GENG's composition.
Lehends is not giving anything away, not even saying anything either. He's just ready to type in the ban.
Now, it might be Pays who's giving some input on this ban. We'll ban the Olaf, as it was a problem to deal with in the last game, but I think a lot of that based on that one team fight on Grubs. So will it just be a Rel ban here? There's not a whole lot of really strong pushing Ziggs lane picks that are good into what D+ have, like Janna. Don't think you're too concerned about that. It's not really a Blitzcrank setup here in this draft either. They'll take away the Zyra from Canyon instead. And that Poppy ban also, could have been towards him as well, but more likely for the support. Let's see what Canyon's going to lock in this position. Just keeping it a secret. Is it like a Karthus angle, Valdez? Big boom damage into boom damage?
It's a lot of magic, but it certainly is difficult to avoid, that's for sure.
It's very difficult to avoid if you're playing an immobile AD carry and the bomb hits and then Karthus says goodnight. Let's see what aiming's going to lock here, because the Ezreal and the Zeri are the 2 picks that we have on our minds.
Seraphine?
I mean, it's going to be really good for the Nasus. I feel like it'd feel really good if there was a Olaf in this comp as well. We're just going to lock the Vayne. Maybe. I mean, we may not be, but...
How far are the chefs going to go tonight?
All right, well...
Where are we going with this?
I mean, now Chovy could just play this Garen top if they're going to play Nasus top and put the mid lane Talia to work. I actually really like this for D+. You have a lot of pick this way. The seismic shoves are going to be incredibly powerful. If you set up any of that CC and the Nasus becomes extremely difficult to deal with, follows up on it really well.
What's the choice? Karthus,
I don't think so.
Feels
I don't
very
think
good.
So. Not anymore. Definitely not an option.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
Canyon can play pretty much anything, and it's going to be Skarner in the jungle.
Very punishing into any champ that is trying to step forward to set up that pick. Even the Nasus can get isolated if he's caught and pulled back and then blown up by all of that damage. He's pretty tanky, especially when he pops his ult, but not immortal. And so we have the same matchup topside. Definitely a lot more gankable this time around for D+, because they have a Vi. And this Garen, if he's trying to really push the lane in a top lane situation, it's a much longer lane. There's a lot more vulnerability there.
Talia as well can join, Shaker can roam. He's shown that before.
This is a very cool way to change this draft up. The Seraphine's still a bit of a question mark for me, but it obviously empowers the Nasus really well and has great wombo potential too, and can follow up on that single target CC. You get the extension on the ultimate, charm somebody.
Yeah.
The shields allow you to push forward really hard. So
sustain for the side of the Ziggs and the amount of poke. The Ziggs Corki that comes out again.
LCK Vietnam is here. Shout out to VNcast and these guys.
Yeah.
And Vietnamese League of Legends is getting very, very big these days. A lot of people are watching in Vietnam.
Yeah, I can't
saw the fans. They're so active.
I can't speak the language, but I did recognize the Cassante.
There you go.
Pasta. Maybe some Showmaker fans. They are hoping for more Cassante. We've seen one Keen Sante in this series so far. Not going to see it here in Game 3. As we're ready, let's hop onto the rims. All right, off we go. Game number 3. DK's last chance, and could be the start of a reverse sweep if they do pick up a win here. I personally am a little bit disappointed to see aiming on Seraphine after he's had the season that he has had on picks that hard carry. And Seraphine feels good in the comp, feels good, into what they're playing against, but
it's very good in the Ziggs.
It's not aiming,
I agree. I mean, the shielding, if timed correctly, can be so strong into the Ziggs ultimate. Lance is going to fish here, but T+ will see and back away. Do have a lane swap, of course. Everybody's aware of this. Garen starting bottom side here. The Ziggs going top. And even with plate protection, can still be quite strong there. Seraphine push is very obnoxious to deal with, as the Ziggs, so it does feel like a wise choice. And Moham is going in.
Yeah. Force a smite. I mean, I don't think that Skarner really cares about a level 1 Leona. Here's King in and aiming on the bottom side.
King got some XP.
Yeah.
See that purple bar appear below his HP there, bottom left? That's what he's looking for. That's what top laners are really having a lot of trouble getting right now with these lane swaps. But they opted into this. He's able to get a little bit of it. We'll get some more here. As it's tough to punish a Garen right now at level 1. If you start setting up some CSC and continue to poke him with that Seraphine, it becomes very difficult. As FaZe is just alone in the top side. No answer just yet. And the shield will deny that poke. He's actually doing such a great job of picking up XP here. Now he can wave clear with his E.
Yeah, it's never easy to dive a Garen. Excellent wave clear, excellent sustainability, but I might go for it here on the next push. Not as big of a wave this time, but it is a cannon wave. Let's see how it goes as Keen wants to get in, gets the silence on a Moham, who's not able to do much except ignite. And now Keen's level 3, and he's totally fine. He's getting chipped out a little bit here. Maybe totally fine is going a little bit too far, but he avoids the dive.
And everybody on GENG is just escorting FaZe to the top side here. You know, you have Lehens rejoining him. So many minions are being denied here in the top side. As Keen gets XP, King gets some XP, but it's split. We'll TP here, but they're ready for it.
Oh, hide on bush, except 3-man version. And yeah, Kingan's not going to be happy with that one. Lehens.
Look at his face,
set that
man.
one up. Yeah, I mean, what do you
happy,
do?
But he's not happy with it. You are absolutely correct. He is just laughing in frustration. And he's like, man, it was very different when I was World's MVP to be a top laner. It was very different than this, you know?
Yeah.
It did not look like this where he's just sitting in the lane with a Seraphine and Leona trying to kill a Garen and can't, and then has to TP to die. And by the way, they're still here.
Guess what? Yeah. Well, there's the flash stun on in. Kingin does have his flash, and he says, well, I'll use it, I guess. He is going to die anyway, and FaZe also gets to kill Kingin. Again, is just left laughing, because what else can you do?
Well, there is one top laner left in this game. Well, I'll give Keen being half a top laner. Half a top laner versus 0.
I don't know what happened here, but Showmaker just, okay, baiting. Actually just baiting, and now Toby's just dead. Down he goes. Lucy gonna get that kill in this wild early game. And at least DK gets something back.
Yeah, they do get something back here with Lucid shoving this wave. They will be able to deny some farm. Probably just a little bit here. As Kingin dies on this teleport, is grabbed by Canyon, stunned into the turret. Lehens goes super low. Then they stay, and Lehens flashes for the engage, denies him the ability to get into that turret. They're all very low, but if they can keep Kingin out of the turret, then it doesn't matter. And he flashes towards it.
나 어떻게 게임?
How can I play the game? How can I play the game?
Yeah.
He said a naughty word before that, or nearly did. And yeah, this is a little bit of an overextension here from Chubby. Great play from Lucid. Showmaker does flash as well, so it's not 100% clean or anything like that, but Lucid picks up the kill. 2 flashes down on D+'s side for just 1 for Chovy. So it's, again, it's a small victory, but it's at least something.
Yeah. And the Garen is, once again, second game in a row, feels like it's just going to outdo the Nasus. Avoids the dive. Feels like, yes, GENG set up the dive better onto the Nasus, but Nasus, you know, you can see it plain as day, is much easier to dive in these situations. And here comes Skarner, and that down back is not going to do anything as Showmaker just gets pushed into the rel.
Look at his face too, man.
Yeah, Canyon and Lehens, man, they're just high-fiving this entire series.
Yeah, and I mean, Kingin and Showmaker are just linked on frustration.
Face bombing together.
I mean, they're just running circles around him. And, you know, the other thing about this, we talked about the Ziggs getting some power topside, even with the plate protection and stuff, but Seraphine just doesn't hurt turrets that much, you know, if there's not a whole lot of setup. I mean, she does end up getting most of these plates, obviously, because it's just a Garen here, but it's not like she is threatening to kill.
Here we go again. Lucid gonna miss the knockup, and yep, level 6, as you mentioned, so now there's actually threat of a kill onto some of these lower health members of DK, and Kingin doesn't get to play the game. This hasn't changed.
Yeah, so, you know, it's still like 0 top laner versus like half a top laner. Maybe we can almost give 2/3 here for Keen now, as he is getting a decent amount of farm here. Hits level 6. He is 2 levels ahead of Kingin. Just sitting down here. Yes, plates went over to a Seraphine. But we'll utilize that gold quite well. This early game has just not been playable for Kingin. And D+ will get this first dragon, so... And it's a Chemtech, so on one hand, that feels nice because you don't have Chemtech Soul, but actually Chemtech Soul is pretty good with the Seraphine pop, so maybe it's not really Maybe it's not really all that great, actually, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the positives here. I'm trying to find any good news.
That turret's gone, by the way.
Yeah, that's not the good news. As yeah, Showmaker, as soon as he sees, tries to set up a shove, but good luck. That Skarner is just too fast.
Yeah, I think the only way he maybe gets away is just run in a straight line towards the turret. I think he's dead either way. Not much he can do. Lucid denied getting over the wall, instead elects to ult the Garen.
He doesn't have flash.
Well, he might be able to get out. No, oh, okay. Well, Lucid's got his hands on his face. I mean, guys, this is this is not very close. This is just an unbelievable early game stomp from the side of GENG. And I thought maybe, just maybe, we'd get one close game in the series, Wolf. And it doesn't look like this one is it. So maybe if we have a fourth exhibition game, perhaps.
I mean, the draft adaptation from D+, I thought was pretty good. You know, I wasn't sold on the Seraphine necessarily, but GENG just play a smarter early game. They have the Garen. They know the wave clear is fantastic.
Yeah.
Garen pick ends up being a flex, right? King can play it. And now Canyon has ult. Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Kingan doesn't have his flash. So, yeah, there's the Impale coming in, and the bomb sails over the head of Nasus, but it just doesn't matter, as now, maybe a punish. 3 members of DK down in the bottom lane. Pays flashing into the fight. I'm not sure that's going to work out for him, but the damage, where is it from the side of DK? There it is. Finally, they take out Pays as, well, Canyon not going to get over the wall, has to flash. And finally, DK gets something.
Yeah. They get something, Valdez. As Moam is able to lock Pays down there. Yeah. A good play from him, but I mean, if you look at the items, yeah.
This is the way that Kingan plays the game, because
yeah. Anyway, back to looking at the items in the bottom lane.
That's a lot of ability haste.
Yeah, well,
that's
wait.
A lot of ability haste.
I didn't actually see that he did that.
Yeah.
That,
well, maybe he can build it into items.
That will not sit well with a lot of people. I will tell you right now, Valdez.
Yeah. I mean, this is
that will not sit well with a lot of people.
This is one of those games, you know, there's been a lot of proponents for and against lane swaps, but when you see how GENG are just able to absolutely mind bend DK out of this series utilizing lane swaps, I quickly personally become a proponent for lane swaps.
Well, look, I mean, for me, it's less about the lane swaps. It's more just about intelligent play from GENG. Like, obviously, the lane swap is the crux of the strategy here.
And they're utilizing it in their draft as well, which is just so fun to see.
Moam's dead.
Well, maybe trying to get Canyon here. See how that works. He's going in, actually, on aiming. Knows he's dead. Can't get away. Ulting the wave here is Pays, as Pays will go down. And DK gonna get another something.
Yeah, we will definitely be looking at the replay as to see how that happened. Looks like maybe a bit of an overextension there, trying to kill Moham, but I don't know how it all started off. We saw what happened after that, of course, but good punish there from D+. Okay, so Lehen's on a ward here. Moab goes in for a bit of an engage, I guess you could say, but it's more so just a bait. Like, he's Poppy, he's very tanky. Or sorry, he's Leona, excuse me, he's very tanky. And this means that Showmaker and Lucid can rotate down. Even though Showmaker didn't have his ult, can just surf and get down here very quickly. This isn't even really needed. And Lucid picks up the kill into Pays. So, bit of a trade back. You can see at the same time, Kingan is on Wolves. So, you know, he's still not playing the game on the other side. The Ziggs, I was going to talk about the items earlier. He got his Loon's Companion a long time ago. And aiming is still trying his best to finish that first item. Wasn't able to do it on that last back, even with the kill he picked up. And yeah, it's a 3,000 gold lead, but I mean, I guess a lot of ability haste for stacking Qs. This Nasus will infinitely scale Valdez.
Yeah, I mean, they're very cheap. You can sell them back. You know, at the end of the day, it actually can make a bit of sense. It looks very trolly, but it can work. He's going to be getting a lot of Qs. He's going to just essentially just say, I'm not a champion, so let's really kind of buy into that idea and, you know,
yeah, I mean,
try to eventually be a champion while, for the moment, I'm not. I'm really not.
Yeah, I think that, like, eventually he might be, and he might be just a Wither bot as well, which is still relevant. He'll be kind of tanky if he can ever get items. But it's just him accepting that this is a 5v4 game for a long time. If this game does go super late, and he is able to get a lot of Q stacks, like, that may change. But yeah, for the foreseeable future, not so much, as Lehens is totally fine here. With a bold engage there from Lucid, especially with a satchel charge at the waiting for Pays. But I mean, they're desperate for anything. They want to fish for a pick. They want to find some sort of angle. They want to find some sort of setup. They have a pick-based comp where if Moam sets up the CC, Showmaker gets the pullback. If he's there, you know, you get that blow up, right? And Q as many as possible, as he has picked up the Sheen now. Yeah, the buckler.
He has a lot of ability haste still. He's going to be trying to stack in the side lane and just try to catch up, as we've mentioned. Zeke's first here for the Skarner. A little bit of extra damage, I guess, as it's Hextech Soul once again. So GENG also have been really high rolling on these Drakes. They didn't necessarily really need to, but now a combo. Okay, a lot of CC. Unfortunately, that's Skarner, so not really able to blow up the Skarner. Down goes the turret, down goes the Leona, and GENG get another win.
And GENG just really wanted the gold from that turret, the plate gold that comes with it, and they were prepared to group to prevent Showmaker from being able to set up a play there with the Leona. So great 1-2 punch from Moam. Showmaker, like we've been talking about this whole game, but they don't have enough damage to kill the Skarner. Chobi had TP, and he's just going to come up here and clear this up now. Lucid is here. They may be able to punish.
Chobi is in a lot of trouble here. Look at that burst that comes in. The Talia TPing in.
So much needed gold for Kingen as well. Still massively behind in this game, but hey, you know, you'll take every win you can get, and that's Chobi's TP down as well as Moam is here.
Yeah, I think Kingen overstays. Showmaker's backing, and Kingen's like, well, I'll stay. Maybe I can get another plate, and he might be able to, just barely not able to. Gets smoked down, and that's the end of him. Meanwhile, the Sinner on the bottom lane is almost dead, 13 minutes in.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that makes you feel sad, you know? Because you can see the thought process of this comp, right? Moam flashes in, gets just the tip of the Zenith Blade on the Canyon. Showmaker has the perfectly set up seismic shove, but then everyone is here, right? Chobi was here this entire time. You don't have a turret, so you're not safe to make this play. And then Chobi just TP's top to catch the wave, and they're already ready for him, right? They have the answer here. They kill him, and then Kingen is like, I gotta get plates, I gotta get money. I'm not really a top laner. I have my team here. This seems safe. And it does seem safe, right? Until Showmaker completes his back and the rest of the team leaves, and he still stays. And like Ziggs is threatening a bomb all the while, by the way. This Pace is like lurking, is like, you guys need my bomb? They're like, nah, don't waste it again. You wasted it last time. And he's like, okay, I was just saying maybe if I got the kill, they're like, nah, don't waste it. Keen and Lucid will interact with each other.
Yeah, we've seen this fight before. There's the bomb from Pays. Is going to hit very much on the edge of this one. Lucid, he's got Kingen nearby. And Lehen's a little bit behind this place, so not able to actually pick up the kill. As Lucid's trying to get something back. And there is empowered recall here. Chobi gonna stop the back, actually. Valkyrie over the wall. Not sure if he knows about the Nasus behind him, but now he's about to find out. Kingen is gonna do a decent amount of damage as the Qs will come in. The flash is there, but you're not getting away from Nasus, buddy. Is down, he will go. Kingen sends him a thumbs up. And it's another kill over to the side of the Nasus.
And now he doesn't have TP, he doesn't have flash. He does have his first item. The Triforce is picked up here, but you know, I mean, they're slowly but surely getting themselves a few kills here.
700 gold.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money. Lucid again caught though.
Yeah, gonna be silenced up, and now he's got a Skarner on his back. Nice knockback here from Showmaker, just desperately trying to help out his buddy.
Hey, he's got his Seraphs complete now. Once he gets Leandries, these types of exchanges are going to go really well, and Kingen is starting to become relevant now. There's like, he's going to take this turret out, picks up 2 kills, right? Ends up getting that shutdown. Now 300 more gold in his pocket. He's sitting on 282 stacks here, pushing 300, you know, off of this wave. And a few mistakes from GENG, and D+ do not give up. They keep fighting, they keep finding these forced picks. You know, in that bottom fight, yes, Lucid was caught, did find himself in a lot of trouble here, but just punish plays like this one. Showmaker having the confidence, Kingen has TP. And Chobi has no business being this far up. Just wants to play the macro game that they've been playing all series long, but gets called out for it here.
I feel like he also could have just completed his back. I'm not sure, like, if Showmaker's a little bit
I actually thought so too. Yeah, I actually thought he could have, because like it's empowered recall.
He doesn't know exactly how close Showmaker is, so maybe he's like, okay, that wall looks closer. I gotta stop my back. But I think from knowing all of the vision, I think just barely he could have gotten out.
I do
Would have
agree.
been his best bet.
I was surprised he stopped the channel as well. It would have been close, but I do think...
Not expecting the Nasus TP.
Yeah.
Thinking, okay, well, if Showmaker wants to ult on me. But if he's ulting you, then there's probably someone else there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't want to be too nitpicky on this one for Chovy because it's one of those, like, really tight timings to know, but I do agree it seemed like he could have completed the recall there. But he does not. Dies, commits flash. As once again, they're using the Hextech Rift incredibly well, and Keen's the next target. This pick comp is starting to come online, Valdez.
Yeah, Keen is Garen, trying to trade one back here, but not going to complete the spin into ult. And they do commit pretty heavily up to the top side of the map here. Satchel, passive, down goes the turret, and there's a Drake available. So yes, you got the kill, but will you be able to get much after that? Another charge comes in from the Rift Herald. Chovy's just bought. And it feels like they could have just gotten the Drake, but instead just now go for a little bit of a skirmish in mid. Chovy still not there, does have TP.
Yeah, I mean, this is Boham.
Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble. Does have the Eclipse up, but when you get Magnet Storm and Impaled, there's not much you can do. He's level 6, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he gets taken down. So that should be the Drake going to GENG.
Yeah, it's only their second of the game, so this isn't horrible for GENG or for D+. I mean, there's a lot of things going very horribly wrong for D+ this game, but this is, you know, maybe towards the lower half of the list. But this pick on the Keen, using the Hextech Rift, you like to see something. They're going to look for another one in live.
Yeah, the TP is coming in here from Chovy. A lot of damage into Keen, but that is still Garen. Chovy not able to chunk through the Nasus, but guess who's here? It's Pays, and he's doing a ton of damage. Lucid also trying to join. Keen getting pretty low as Lucid extends the Encore and targets it right into the Garen, as a lot of wave clearers coming in, and Lucid sticking around. A big knockback comes in though, and DK are winning a fight while Canyon is just taking the Drake.
This starts to feel like the kind of game that maybe Atlas would have bet his hair on, Valdez. Because they keep just making these plays and GENG keep disrespecting, and the Hextech Rift is working on Team D+, because they keep setting up these picks, they keep punishing topside. And remember, there's no turret here outer-wise for GENG to take, and they keep, you know, coming up here getting caught. This time for Keen, he's not pushing the lane. It's just an opportunity seized on by King, and Showmaker has teleport. They just keep using these teleport ganks. It looks like, okay, maybe they messed this one up, but Showmaker definitely flashes the ult, has that Seraph shield. Keen gets slowed, and we're not done in live.
Just never done with the action. This time it's a 2v1. Nobody else is nearby, and Keen will just pick up the kill. So, and a lot cleaner.
In that last fight, when you consider how scrappy it was and how well it was played, you could see the value of the Seraphine. Sure, they don't have that extra damage that an 80 carry would provide in a scrappy fight like that, but the extensions on Encore could be so incredibly well if you hit him in a choke point, if you have map control there, or the shielding that gives you more longevity for your Nasus and for your squishy members that are trying to, or that, you know, Pays and crew are trying to blow up. Chovy is trying to take out. As
here we go again, another pick, but Canyon this time he's going to use it to his advantage. Tries to pull Boham after the wall. That's another satchel coming in, and a big bomb to the face of Boham. And now Canyon once again through the wall, gonna bring Showmaker straight into the rel as the Encore is good once again, but it's not quite as good as the team play from the side of GENG. And now aiming on Seraphine, you know, he did his job, but he's going to be able to get away. And now with Barret available, 21 minutes into the game, GENG will start it up.
Yeah, just so much damage in this comp of the remaining members, and the jungler still survives. So Canyon will be able to secure this. Very difficult for D+ to contest, but they have to try. And no ult for the Seraphine.
Yeah. Pays is, okay, they're just looking to turn this one. He's on the side. He's got the mines in the perfect spot, and the damage into King is huge. He's not quite that tanky just yet. It should be another couple of kills going the way of GENG as Canyon going to throw a rock and take down Leona again. And they might just start it again.
They are going to start it again, and there's just no way to contest. Lucid has flash, but there's no way he can get in here. The Hens will absolutely say no.
Oh, they're going to back.
Wow, they really do decide to back off. Because of the Hextech gates, Lucid can get actually behind Lehens here and circumvent that rel, and they're like, that's just not a chance I'm willing to take. I'm not willing to give Baron over. If they get that 50-50 steal, and Lucid sneaks around there, it could be a disaster for us. Lucid going to look for any stragglers.
Might be able to get Chovy here.
Yes, flash ult.
There is Lehens in the brush, who is going to hop away, but now in goes Lucid. The satchel is not enough to save Lehens' life.
This has just been a fantastic game from D+ from behind. I mean, even though they are still massively so behind, the proactivity from this pick comp, a lot of teams would have just fallen apart. A lot of teams would have just been like, yeah, okay, I mean, you could buy all the ability haste you want, Kingen, but I guess this one's probably doomed. Let's just sit back and maybe the Nasus will scale later. They have just been proactive every step of the way. Unfortunately for them, though, this level of proactivity for Moham was a bit of a step too far. And then you see the rotation instantly come from Keen. You can see him on the mini-map. He is rotating up, so there's not much of a way out. Canyon has had a fantastic Skarner game here. The Charm does buy a lot of time, and you can see, like, aiming really is starting to pump out some damage here in these exchanges. He either survives, fortunately for him, which allows him to come over here for this contest. And look at the turn here. It's swift from the side of GENG, but so much damage is done to these GENG members that when Lucid respawns, they decide not to take the Baron. As they're grouped for it, once again, Lehens no vision.
Yeah, and there it is. This time, Lehens opening himself up to get picked, just kind of running into the brush. Meanwhile, we got a 1v1 on the bottom side. We're going to see who wins this one. Looks like Nasus by the end of it. Keen going to get withered up as well, and he has nowhere to go. It's a shutdown for Kingen.
All right. You get a kill on a rogue Lehens. You get a kill in the 1v1. The Garrett not having the big lead that Chovy had last time against Showmaker. And Kingen, he is truly starting to become a big threat inside. So he's looking for that turret as they get mid-prio as well. And these shoves just keep hitting. And GENG, their engage is pretty good. They have this Skarner, they have the Rel, but if they lose map control like they do with these picks, it becomes so difficult to even defend their turrets as Kingen is shoving this in. Is it going to overextend? Dragon's up in 20 seconds here. They cannot give over. Soul point here to GENG. Buying some additional time for this Nasus would feel amazing, as well as Showmaker went for the Horizon focus second. Will be going Leandri's third. So it doesn't have the same sort of burn damage he's going to want, obviously, ideally, until he gets that third item when these picks come through. But this is just greed from Lehens. And look, I get it. You're massively ahead in this game, and it felt unlosable. And you want to get Baron. You have that control word set up, but don't face check that one. Ends up getting punched. And then Keen gets withered. The Qs are really starting to hit because even though he doesn't have a lot of items, he has a ton of stacks.
We have a setup here for the Dragon. We've got all 5 members on both teams, but Showmaker has got first push in mid. That's going to force Chovy back here to try to clear that one out. But, I mean, yes, GENG still ahead. I feel like Peas especially is in a really good spot. He's got 3 items, and the game has just been so crazy. Like GENG have been all over the place. DK have been picking them left and right, taking some risks. They've been paying off. But I really want to see what a real team fight looks like, because we haven't really gotten
I don't know if we're going to get it, because
well,
Lucid does not know it's in that brush. Okay.
All right.
Maybe we do get it. Maybe we will, but Chovy says no.
Mid. Yep. And I'm trying to force an engage, trying to force something. They know that Kingen's on the right side. And again, in the 1v1, Keen has to be very careful about trying to take that against the Nasus. It's not going to work out. So once again, we reset positioning. Last cone to get over the wall. And a reset on the Dragon as well.
Trying to punish Kingen's flank here, but he just keeps walking back. Moham, though, isolated.
It's so difficult for him to play. I mean, he has to get a flash engage in. Otherwise, the Ziggs just rips him apart. Now Lucid has to flash away. The wall goes over, and Showmaker's just dead! Just like that, but a massive encore, a re-engage from the side of DK, but the Impale catches 2. And it should get enough room here for the side of GENG, and it will 100%. They get a second Hextech Drake, and a triple kill for the Corki.
So close to greatness every single moment here in that fight. Like, the constant flanks from Kingen. He's trying to set up a wither there onto a prio target, use his ult there as aiming, and Moham get that engaged, but Moham is just constantly poked. Like, it's just so frustrating to play this. And Showmaker's like, okay, this is the angle. Ziggs put the bombs down, circumvent that, go around. But unfortunately, just isolates himself, knocked off the wall. And yes, it's a nice encore through here, and Lucid comes in with Moham. Like, this Seraphine is just not going to offer enough damage alone, not at this stage of the game, and maybe not at any stage of the game, as this is also going to be GENG taking Baron in live. Soul point for Hextech Soul. And man, it has been a good and fun run for D+, because I mean, we've been watching this team flounder throughout the entirety of the early game, most of the mid game, and starting to make some picks happen in sides. Starting to feel like this Nasus is online, and then just a crushing team fight there as they're just unable to deal with the Ziggs poke. The one champion that's been the biggest thorn in their side this entire series is once again just proving to be difficult to handle. He has Zhonya's, as like game one, itemized defensively. Don't get caught by a Seraphine Charm, don't get caught by a flip.
Yeah, it's you know, it's a bit of both. Goes for the extra damage early, no tier once again, but the Zhonya's perfect into Vi and Leona. And yeah, now he's gonna have the follow-up of even more to puncture through some of the tanky stats, especially of the Nasus, who has the Spirit Visage. And you know, the Ziggs was even better with the Maokai, but he's still really good by himself and with a team behind him. So there's the satchel, down will go that inner.
I'm gonna have 6 turrets down. D+ eventually sitting back here in the base is going to get worn down by a very threatening GENG Baron. And it's hard to pick when there's no overextension. This is the Baron buff as Luzin's going deep.
Yeah, he has to try something, but the Zhonya's is there, and he had the satchel set up. He knew the engage was coming, and now the Flash Impale in this game, in this series, is just over. GENG are not pulling any punches. Showmaker desperate to try to take down Chovy, King and the last remaining member, but they have a wave in top, and GENG will showcase why they are by far the best team in the LCK at the moment.
Few hiccups, a few great punishes from D+, but the lane swapping Ziggs does them in. And it's 25 kills to 16, a very, very bloody game, but not for one moment were GENG not in control. Sure, they lost some side laners. Sure, there were some mistakes from Chovy, some wasted teleports, and some very proactive plays from GENG, but the composition stood tall, and the Ziggs poke ultimately win that dragon fight that gives them control to take Baron and take the series 3-0. They will be moving to round 3 of the winner's bracket. And man, GENG, the dominance just doesn't seem like it's ever going to end.
Yeah, certainly not today. I feel like they really just ran DK all around the series. Poor Kingen didn't really get to play game 3, and I mean, he had his moment on Olaf in game 2. That was about all we got to see. You know, there were some moments, as you mentioned. You know, DK had some nice shining moments, some plays from behind, but it's too suffocating to play against this team. You can't ban everything. We're not 5 years in the future where we have 5 bans to start off each draft, right? It's just 3 bans, and it's so difficult to draft against this team. DK, I hope they're not too down. They're still a very strong team, maybe not quite on GENG's level at this moment, but they have a second chance in the double elimination. They'll play off against whoever loses Samara.
I do want to give, I mean, obviously D+ are not eliminated. They will be in the lower bracket now, but I do have to give them mad credit for, you know, staying pretty resilient in that game. I mean, Kingen, when I saw him buy the ability haste, I was like, I mean, I don't know if this is going to be worth it. I don't know if this is going to be the right call. And I felt like he was just like, I don't want to say trolling, but basically being like, this is what it is, and I'm not going to buy real items, and we're doomed, and it's over. But he stood the course of time, queued a ton of minions, and even down a level on his opposition, on the Garen, solo kills him, right? I mean, he's playing incredibly well, ends up stacking well, ends up being relevant, picks up the Visage. It's just dominance that we saw in the early game that very rarely went punished here. Gave GENG such a big leash, such a big lead. But even though there were some fantastic plays like this one here for D+, where they have the numbers advantage, they have that shielding coming through from aiming, right? Extension on the Encore to get the kill. These moments, I feel like if you were playing from an even game state would be what won you the game, but instead, it's GENG caught a few times by a pick comp, but they needed to do more than this. And, I mean, the comp and the engage from GENG, there's just so many tools with the Skarner pick, which was also fantastic.
Canyon and Lahen's the entire series, like, best buds. Looks like they've been playing together for ages when it's only been, what, a year?
It's been like 7 months.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, I mean, the synergy is 10 out of 10. It's incredible, and pretty much every game we saw this series. This is the final moments from GENG ending the game. Look at the setup from Paige. He's got the satchel ready defensively, knows exactly that he is the target.
Has the Zonias as well that we talked about moments before. And then Canyon just goes in for the Impale. I mean, it's just classic GENG. And, you know, they picked D+. Again, it's shocking a lot of people, especially considering how close these series have been. But not today. Not this GENG, not this season. And they showed that, you know what, it was absolutely the right choice.
Yep, 16th match in a row, right, for the side of GENG. And, you know, the one team to take them down first in summer. They did win the one game, and unfortunately that wasn't enough. And GENG take the 3-0. I was hoping for a little bit of a closer series tonight, but instead we just got peak GENG. There were really no big mistakes. The drafts looked incredibly suffocating. The play was generally very solid. I mean, Game 3 got a little bit wild at times. Game 2 early was a bit iffy, but at the end of the day, they still reigned supreme.
I mean, we saw a lot of cool picks. I think the series was very fun. It was very enjoyable. And D+, I think, definitely learned a lot. And maybe they can utilize that in that lower bracket match. Maybe they can make that run to Gyeongju. They didn't get it today, but they're not out.
They're not out just yet. They will play again against the loser of tomorrow's match, which is, of course, T1 versus Home Life Esports. We will have a full team interview with all of GENG, but first, let's hand it over to the space to break down this series.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the post-match interview translation, joined by GENG, the winners of the first match of round 2 in the 2024 LCK playoffs, brought to you by Woody Bank. Let's hear from Keen, Canyon, Chovy, Pace, and Lihens. Congratulations! I can't really tell if our players are smiling. Are you happy, Keen? Are you smiling? Yeah, I'm very happy. What's the meaning behind the sunglasses? So with the team emotes, we have prepared a little bit of an event here with the sunglasses. I think we were just instructed to do so. We're competing to be the best team emote. Keen. So it looks like you're the first ever top laner to play 700 games. So how does it feel to win that game with the winners bracket on the line? Yeah, so it's been 7 to 8 years since I started my career, and I feel like it's just so surreal, and I'm really happy. And there's so many emotions going through my mind just being able to play for so long. Let's give it up for Keen with a long career. And you faced Kingen, who brought out some diverse picks such as Malphite and Olaf. So how was playing against them? These are champions that you don't really see a lot in this meta, so I ended up making a lot of mistakes, but because my teammates were able to cover them, I was able to play pretty well in the end. And in Game 3, GENG demonstrated how Garen can be swapped effectively. So do you foresee that Garen will be a hot pick? I'm not sure if Garen will actually be a hot pick or a common pick in the future, but I feel like we definitely made some skills issues plays with Garen, so I'm not sure if anyone will actually play off of our demonstration today. I feel like Chovy have been playing a lot of Garen. I feel like he's very skilled and proficient at him, so maybe he'll play more Garen in the future. It looks like he is very satisfied with what you just said. And what is your resolution for round 3? So this latest meta has a lot of diverse champions, so I really want to make sure to adjust and adapt to the meta and find our comfort picks. And Canyon. So this was the first match you played in patch 14.16. So as a jungler, what was the most crucial point for you? I don't think there were many changes in the jungle. So I think I just had to pay more attention to my solo laners. So from today's match, it looked like you guys really prioritized Maokai and Ziggs. So can you explain why? Since D plus Kia, from the last playoffs, they have been really prioritizing Maokai. I think we just really wanted to steal that and take them away from them. And with the Ziggs, I think it's just something that we just ended up going with a lot of the options that we were studying. In Game 3, you logged in Skarner to showcase some peak performance and managed to get POG as well. So what made you pick Skarner? As our last pick, I was just pondering and hesitating on which pick I should go with the jungle. We're communicating with the team, and Skarner was just something that someone mentioned, and I believe that it was just a good pick as he was buffed recently too. And now that you've secured a spot in Gyeongju, it's time to prepare for the winner's bracket. So how will you prepare? So we'll see the next match tomorrow, and I think it really depends on which team makes it to the winner's bracket. So we'll make sure to prepare accordingly. And Chovy, in the past 2 years, every time you met D plus Kia in a best of 5, it has been a full 5-game series. So did you expect it to be a quick 3-0? I feel like whenever we faced D plus Kia, it had never been an easy match. But I feel like now that we got a quick 3-0, it feels very refreshing and it feels great. In Game 2, you picked LCK's very first mid Garen against Nasus, and thanks to you, Garen got his first win. So how was playing him on stage? You know, I think I was really experienced with Garen, so I was really excited to play him. But I feel like I made, with some accidents and some skills issue, I was a little worried, but I'm just glad that we were able to secure today's victory. So with today's match between
제가 가렌을 많이 했어가지고 숙련도가 더 높은 거라 뭐 일단 아직까지는 제가 더 맛이 있는 것 같습니다.
Also regarding Garen, I feel like I just maybe need a little more experience with him to be able to play him in the future as well. And so tomorrow, you will meet whoever wins in the match tomorrow between Hana Life Esports and T1. So who do you want to meet? You know, it doesn't really matter. I think it'll be fun either way. And we will enjoy watching tomorrow's match. And Paige, how do you feel to advance to the winner's bracket? I was quite satisfied with my gameplay today, and the quick 3-0 victory makes me very happy. And so, with the Ziggs, the fantastic back-to-back Ziggs plays, do you think that Ziggs has high prio in the bot lane right now? Yeah, honestly, Ziggs is a really good champion right now in the current meta as a bot laner. So I believe that we'll continue seeing him in the bot lane. And what's your resolution for round 3? I want to make sure that to keep up our form, the exact form that we were able to showcase today, and show you guys an even better gameplay in round 3. And lastly, let's talk to Lee-Hens. Looks like that hat suits you very well. So not only did you earn the first ever 5,000 assists as a support, but you also advanced to the winner's bracket. How do you feel? Up until this point where I reached 5,000 assists, I had received so much love from the fans. So I want to just make sure that I'm able to keep it up. And in Game 2, you walked in Blitzcrank without hesitation. So how did you end up with this pick? I think I was in a really good condition, and I think that's why. So Blitz is something that you play when you're in a good condition, huh? Yes, that is correct. Oh, it looks like there's a fan in the audience. with the same exact outfit.
큰 선물이 됐을 것 같습니다. 당장 내일 한화생명과 T1이 승부를 펼치게 되는데요. 어떻게 예상하시는지
And tomorrow, Hanwha Life
의견 한번
Esports
들어보고 싶습니다.
and T1 will face each other. Any predictions?
누가 올라올 거라고 생각은 안 하는데 그냥 풀 꽉 가서
I can't really pinpoint who will win, but
좋습니다. 그럼
I hope
마지막으로
that they
주장인
have the
선수가
most
젠틀
chaotic
팬분들께
match.
3라운드 향한 각오 부탁드립니다.
네,
And lastly,
오늘 경기,
as the team captain, can you share your round 3 resolution with your fans?
그리고 이제부터 플레이오프가
I'm very happy that we're able to
저희는 또 좋은
grab
모습으로
a
팬분들께 보답드리도록
a-
하겠습니다.
네, 여러분 큰 박수
a
부탁드립니다.
quick 3-0 victory,
젠지였습니다.
but I want to make sure that we're able to
네,
showcase even better
승리
performance and
감사합니다.
keep it up
승부조 경기 기대하도록
in the future
하겠습니다.
matches.
감사합니다.
And that's the end of the post-match interview with the players of GENG. And back to the space. Thank you.